Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danger Zone. I am your host, Ken Moore. I will be joined shortly by my partner, Floyd B. We have a big show on tap tonight. Darvin Ham fired by the LA Lakers. Who's to blame? Who will be the new head coach? Pat Beverly. What is going on with Pat Bev? Has he ruined his rep? Also, Warren Moon tells the Texan fans to chill out on the Love Your Blue jerseys, and Tobias Harris puts up a donut in the season finale for the Philadelphia 76ers. All of that and more coming up next on The Danger Zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danger Zone. I am your host, Ken Moore. Got my partner, Floyd B, here with us as well. We have a lot on the show to unpack here tonight. First and foremost, we want to take care of the housekeeping duties. First of all, if you have not subscribed to the show, if you have not liked the show, if you have not seen the show, we want to invite you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video out, share it out to all of your friends and family who love sports. Titans, Texans, Rockets, Astros, NBA, NFL, it doesn't matter. We talk about it all here on The Danger Zone, and we have a lot on the show here tonight. My boy Floyd is in the house. Also, before we get started, we definitely want to invite you guys that are watching on one of the social media platforms like Facebook or on Twitter, please hop over to the YouTube version of the show. That way we can interact, we can see your comments, you can ask questions, you can give us your thoughts and opinions. That's what really makes the show go, having your thoughts and opinions to go back and forth with Floyd and I. That way we can kind of interact with you guys and make you guys feel like you're a part of the show. With all of that being said, my guy Floyd, welcome to the show. Happy Sunday, my brother.
Happy Sunday, brother. Happy Sunday to everyone out there. Happy everyone can join us. I'm ready to jump into the NBA playoffs, man. Has got my blood flowing. The love for the NBA, I feel it. Under the playoffs saved my spirit, my basketball spirit. The playoffs saved it because I got to admit to you, the regular season didn't have a lot of my attention. I just put it like that for different reasons. But again, the playoffs has been great. Even some of the blowout games that we had, it was still great to see. Shout out to the Sixers, the Knicks. I love that series, man. It was an awesome series, man. And so I'm just eager for the next round of these playoffs, man. And let's go from there, big bro.
All right. Well, we will start off there with the NBA playoffs. Game 7 this afternoon wrapped up between Orlando and Cleveland. Orlando had a big lead early in that ball game, had like an 18, 20-point lead in the first half. Cleveland able to make a late run at the end of the second quarter, cut it down to 10 points at halftime, and the Cavaliers completely took over in the second half of that ball game, and they go on to win it. The only series to go 7 games. So now the Cavaliers will go on to take on the Boston Celtics. Game 1 of that series will be spent a lot of time on Cleveland and Orlando, secondary series to all of the other series in the NBA. But congratulations to the Cavaliers. They were in the danger zone a couple of weeks ago with the shenanigans that they pulled at the end of the season when they could have possibly gotten all the way up to the number 3 or number 2 spot in the East, but they set their guys. But nonetheless, they get through. They move on to the second round against Boston. Well, I predict probably a gentleman's sweep for the Celtics again in that series. We know the Celtics will blow 1 game, but I don't see Cleveland getting more than 2 against Boston.
Maybe one. I think what I've saw in watching this series periodically with the Magic is I saw a team that is kind of what we call backcourt heavy, really rely on their backcourt to do a lot of playmaking, to be the guys, to be the ones that the team can lean on down the stretch. And, we have to be honest, man. I like Darius Garland. I like him a lot. But I thought with Evan Mobley not developing this season, what I was hoping for with Donovan Mitchell coming aboard, he didn't take the next step. I didn't think that backcourt with Garland and Donovan Mitchell was elite, to say the least. Good, yes, but not elite. And I thought Mobley was the missing piece. If he could have stepped his game up and been an all-star caliber player, that it would probably make the team a little bit more excited, but it definitely would increase their chances of playing what we call playing with the big boys, which is, the Celtics, the Knicks. Right now, we got to give them their flowers. But again, that's what I thought about the Cleveland Cavaliers. I thought that they have a star on the team, that I think that everyone was putting him in superstar status with Donovan Mitchell. I still don't believe that. He showed up having a subpar first half with 15 points. I think he was 2 of 12 for shooting from 3 or something like that. But for them, this victory is more of Orlando letting them off the hook than, to me, Cleveland coming back and taking this game.
Yeah, I think you really saw the youth of Orlando in this series. The home team won every single game in this series. Orlando really didn't even compete in the first 2 games. They played the first 2 games like they were still regular season games, and they finally got into a rhythm, won 3 out of 4 games, all 3 at home to force a game 7. And the way they came out, playing defensively in that first half, I really thought they were going to pull the upset this afternoon, but the Cavaliers come back and get the victory. Evan Mobley, I know he missed about 20, 30 games during the regular season with an injury. He has the potential to be an all-star caliber player. Yeah. Kind of reminds you a lot of Chris Bosh in a way, with his frame. But he's got to get outside. He's got to work on that 3-point shot a little bit. Got to develop his mid-range, and he's got to get stronger and tougher inside. But he definitely has all the tools. Of course, he came out, I believe, in the same draft with Jalen Green. I believe he went 3rd after the Rockets took Jalen Green 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. So
something of that nature, yeah.
Right. So a lot of upside potential for the Cavaliers, and we'll see what they do against Boston. Now, to a couple of series that ended over the weekend. The Milwaukee Bucks go down in defeat to the Indiana Pacers in 5 games. But that was not the story. The story was Patrick Beverley and all of his shenanigans at the end of Game 5. And I got a little bit to say about Pat Bev, and I'm going to go full screen for a moment, Floyd, because this is a guy, Patrick Beverley. Obviously, we know him well here in Houston. Kind of came into his own here in Houston, playing in the backcourt with James Harden, known for his defense. He was kind of the spiritual leader, the emotional leader of that ball club. But since he's left Houston, he's really become a character of himself. Pat Bev was a guy probably 3-4 years ago. I have a grandson who's 13 now, and he was probably about 8-9 years old at the time. And I really considered him taking him to Pat Beverley's summer camp, because he has a summer camp that he does here in Houston. At least he did. I'm not sure if he still has it here or not. And I loved his tenacity. I loved his story. And, I was like, okay, this would be someone I would want my grandson to kind of wouldn't mind seeing him go to his camp and learn a few things on how to be tough, how to be resilient, how when things don't go your way, you don't give up. You always battling, you're always scrapping. But since he's gained that success, he has really just kind of went the other way. And in Florida, I'm interested to hear your thoughts because I analyzed Pat Bev to a kid, and we've seen it. We've seen this kid at the end of the school year, last day of school. I want to fight. I want to fight on the last day of school before summer, particularly if you're in the 5th grade and you like going to 6th grade, right? Because you change in schools, you might not see that person again. Or in the 8th grade, when you go in the 9th grade, you're not going to see him again. You're not going to see those teachers. You're not going to see that principal. There's not going to be any repercussions for your actions if you wait to fight on the last day of school. And that's what Patrick Beverley reminds me of, because 3 years ago, when he was with the Clippers and they got beat by the Phoenix Suns, when Phoenix Suns went to the NBA Finals, and Chris Paul was giving them that work, at the end of the game, not game 1, not game 3, not game 4, but the elimination game, Chris Paul has his back turned, and Pat Bev comes up and shoves him in the back, almost gave a man whiplash. But it was the end of the season. He didn't think there would be any repercussions because it wouldn't hurt his ball club because they're already out of the playoffs. 3 years later, just like he did in the 5th grade going to 6th grade, he did it 3 years later. Going from the 8th grade to the 9th grade. Did the same thing. End of the game. The series is over. You're facing elimination. It's done. It's over. There's no coming back. Oh, I'm mad at a fan in the stands because they said 1, 2, 3 Cancun. And I'm going to throw the ball in the stands, hit a young lady in the face. The fan didn't throw the ball at you, tossed it back to you. And you fire the ball in the stands again against this gentleman. Reportedly, because he said 1, 2, 3 Cancun when y'all were in y'all huddle. Then to top it off, you go in a post-game press conference and disrespect the reporter, no matter where she's from. She happened to be from ESPN, but it doesn't matter where she was from. She could have been from the community newspaper. Talking about you can't talk to me if you don't subscribe to my pod. Really, bro? Is that what we doing? We feel so important, so entitled. Our bank account is on swole now. Our bank account is on swole now, so I'm better than you now. You got to pay me to interview you. Nah, bro. That's trash, Pat Bev. That's trash from someone who's respected the hell out of you from the moment you walked on a basketball court. Went overseas, played in Russia, came back, grinded. Not the most talented dude. Only reason he's in the NBA is because of his defense and his toughness and his ability to get under other players' skin. And then you make a shot and you want to little boy somebody, the too small. But then as soon as you lose, you want to act really kind of like a coward, bro, because you pushing another player in the back. Then you tossing the ball in the stands, hitting a female. Then you talk. I know you didn't mean to do it. I understand you didn't mean to do it. I understand it was an accident. And I would be remiss in saying if he didn't apologize. Apparently he called I don't know if he called the lady that he hit in the face, but I know the reporter said that he called her. He apologized. The Milwaukee Bucks organization apologized. But it's too late, bro. The damage is done. And I think of 15 games.
Wow.
Based on prior history. This is not the first time he's done this. If it was the first time, I'd be a little bit more lenient. But all these players are quick to get fans ejected from the game from speaking out of turn. I want this fan ejected. I want that fan ejected. If that fan had just randomly pulled something out of her purse and threw it at Pat Bev or threw a beer at Pat Bev, she'd be banned for life. She'd be banned. That's what they're doing to these fans now. They banning them for life from these arenas. He's got to get 15 games, bro, if he's on the NBA team next year. Those are my thoughts.
I mean, I'm not gonna go in that matter because I blame the NBA on some of the antics that we see from some of these players.
Oh, and I forgot to do this for Pat Bev.
Punk, you're in the danger zone.
His journey has definitely been a story by itself, playing in Russia and China, and, finding his way back to the NBA. But the NBA is built so much right now around authenticness and being authentic. In other words, being you, being how you, it's okay to be you. And it's okay to be you, but you got to have discipline and morale and how you going to be you. I mean, you got a spotlight on you. You're a professional athlete. If you're making $2 million a year, you're making more than half Americans making in a lifetime to some degree. I'm not just gonna put him in the danger zone. I think he's seeing the entertainment part of the NBA. Throughout the history of the NBA, with the Bad Boys and then Rasheed Wallace and Boogie Cousins, Draymond Green, and the list can go on and on. So I feel like he thinks that he can be him or he can be one of them. And he's going to still have a job and he's still going to have a place in the NBA. You said if he be in the NBA next season, he will be in the NBA next season because he brings something to the table every time he's on the court, and that's him. He was never, to me, a great defender. He's a gnat. That's what he is. That's what he was. He was a gnat. He was never a great defender, but he gave you everything he had. He was a gnat. And he learned how to shoot over the season, over the years. He's learned to shoot better, not great, not good, but better. And he just, he just one of those guys where you feel like he can be him now. He didn't have to be rude to the young lady, the reporter. I look at that. All that other stuff with the fan and all that, man. Like you say, Ken, we can't have it both ways. If the fan, they're definitely coming down hard on the fans, lifetime banments, and some of them are even being threatened with criminal charges. So I can understand that the league has to do something about that. You got to keep the safety of the players and the fans. It should be its number one priority. Any job you go on, what's the number one priority on there? Safety. Any job we're on, your job, my job, safety comes before anything. So I think the NBA need to work on that. That's why I kind of blame the NBA for some of these antics and shenanigans that some of these players are doing or getting through, because you allow the entertainment part of it to overtake the safety and the morale of the game, man. So Pat, you know, you can put him in the danger zone. I won't dispute it. I'm not gonna take it that far, because I still think the NBA is some partial blame to some of this.
How so?
You let him look at Draymond Green, man. Just Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Okay, because you're saying they let Draymond get away with so much that it empowers other players to think that they can get away with the same thing.
That, man. You know how that go. In corporate America and for us average John Does, you know how that go, man. If you let one get away with it, somewhere down the line, another one is going to duplicate it or replicate it in some form or fashion, but it's still the same antics, you know, that's being done. So I blame the NBA, you know. If we're gonna cross over and include Draymond Green in this conversation, we're saying, me personally, I thought Draymond Green should have been suspended for the rest of the season. The last time, should have been gone for the rest of the season. He should have been.
You froze up a little bit there. Say it again.
I said, if we're going to add Draymond Green to this conversation along with Pat Beverly, I truly believe that he should have been suspended for the rest of the season. The last incident he had, he should have been suspended for the rest of the season.
Oh, with the Nurkic incident.
Yes, he should have been suspended for the rest of the season, man. You know. Yeah. But again, you allow him to miss 10, 12, 15 games and the therapy thing. And we're not going to dip into the mental health thing, because it is a strong topic. It's a major topic that's happening in society today. And a lot of people are not taking it seriously. But again, Draymond Green, just over the years, you know, you get slapped on the wrist, man. So I think it enhances other players to act out. And what it's doing, man, you know, you don't want the NBA to be the NBA of the 80s, man. It was a bunch of roughnecks and roughhouses coming through there, and the boys was for real, and they was tough. And they lived the life that they came from. They didn't seem to shake it, you know. Mm-hmm. Like the new NBA is today. The NBA has a lot of things designed for players right now. Counseling and for these guys how to manage themselves, their money, their accounts, to be mindful of things, to be successful after the NBA. You know, they didn't have that for those guys that's coming up in the 80s, man. So the fighting and the brutality. I always remember the Rudy Tom Johnson, even though I was a little kid during that time, the Rudy Tom Johnson incident, man. You know, you remember how tough the NBA was, the fighting, the violence, the thugness that they that the reputation that the NBA had, and thank God the basketball gods above for the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird to start the beginning and the change of the NBA from what we know as of today. It wasn't like that, you know. So you still even the bad boys run. You still had that mentality, that toughness, that streetwise playing, streetwise attitude approach to the game, more so than now. You know, there's a lot of reason why they call the NBA soft now. It's just not because the style of play. Is that the guys that are coming up now, not, you know, the hood is not the hood for some of them like it was in the 80s and the 90s coming up, Ken, you know, for a lot of situations. So there's a different era and there's a different ethical background that's coming into the NBA. We still have guys that's coming in from the hood, and God bless them to get beyond. But guys are coming from better backgrounds, so to speak, in this day and era. So we're not seeing a whole lot. That's why the Pat Beverleys and the Draymond Green, they kind of stick out like a sore thumb, because we don't see a whole lot of that now versus that we saw in the 80s and the 90s. So I just think the NBA has to clean up some of this right now. The Patrick Beverley thing is some of that is on them. And they have to take some responsibility of this. Now, suspension, all that there, I don't I don't have an eye for that or feel for that. If they want to suspend him for being, a jerk, then go ahead and do it, But just,
see, I'm not for suspending for being a jerk because there's a lot of jerks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are jerks to reporters in the locker room that we don't see. And, that's just you and your character. You know, I'm not for suspending because of what he said to the young lady in the podcast. That's not a suspensionable. That goes more to your morals and just your personal character. You didn't break any laws. You didn't do anything there. But one thing I just found out while you were speaking, and I didn't remember, this is actually his third incident. This is his third incident.
This season
was no, third in the last since 2021.
Okay.
So in 2021, in the playoffs, is when he pushed Chris Paul in the back. Chris Paul's not looking.
Right.
Okay. In November of 2022, when he was with the Lakers, he pushed DeAndre Ayton in the back. In the back. I'm reading a story here from November 24th, 2022. LA Lakers guard Patrick Beverley suspended 3 games for forcefully shoving Phoenix Suns center DeAndre Ayton when the big man wasn't looking, causing him to fall to the court in LA's game against the Suns. So you see the pattern? You're pushing people in the back, man. That's coward shit. I'm going to say it. That's coward shit, you pushing somebody in the back when they're not looking. If you're going to come after me, come at me when you look. You're the tough guy, Pat Bev. You're the tough guy. Right on every team, you're the tough guy. You're the menace. If you're going to do these things, do it in somebody's face. Don't toss the ball in the stands. You tough guy, go up there now. If you really want to go get that smoke, go get it. Go get it. But you want to toss the ball because you know you got security. The fan can't get to you, right? So you're going to throw the ball at the fan. You're going to push DeAndre Ayton in the back. You're going to push Chris Paul in the back. Nah, bro, I ain't down with that. You ain't down with that, man. No. You're going to come at me when I'm looking at you, bro. You could go at Chris Paul when he's looking at you. Y'all the same size. You want to step up with DeAndre Ayton, a 7-footer? Go at it. Go at it. But nah, bro, you that's foul, that's weak, and I wouldn't even consider taking any child or grandchild or relative. I wouldn't take your son to Pat Bev camp if it was free. Because I don't want those type of morals and those type of ethics for my kid to go and say, oh, I went to Pat Bev's camp. Oh, I saw him on YouTube pushing somebody in the back twice and throwing a ball and then disrespecting a lady in the locker room. Nah, bro. Miss me with that.
He definitely took a PR hit. I can say that. He definitely took a PR hit.
Well, hell, he banned from ESPN. He can't even be on none of their shows anymore. So, you know how big Disney is? Do you know how big? I mean, that's podcast suicide, bro.
Yeah, you know. Hey, we know ESPN is the mother of them all, but you still got FS1, a lot of other stations out there, man, that OPB, man, will be able to attend and maybe make him a few dollars off of, man. But again, man, I just think that again, the NBA is supposed to blame for this here and not grabbing hold who I call the ringleader now. He's been the ringleader. I mean, for the last 5 years, at least the last 5 years for sure, he's been the poster boy for that. So when you're not taking, if it don't start at the top, so to speak, what you think going to happen when it get to the bottom, man? So
yeah. And it'll be interesting, and we'll put a bow on this and move on. It will be interesting, and we really want to get you guys' comments on there. Again, I see a lot of you watching on Twitter and on Facebook, but if you would hop over to the YouTube version of the show, that way you guys can enter your comments and interact with the show, because we definitely want to get your thoughts on this subject. How many games do you think Pat Beverly will be or should be suspended? I think it should be about 15 games. That's just me personally. I don't think he'll get that many. His last suspension was only 3 games. Normally, they usually double it. Now, with it involving a fan, and if that fan decides to sue him or sue, tries to go to court and sue the NBA or sue Pat Bev, sue the Milwaukee Bucks, that's when it could ratchet up. Because when you start taking money out of the organization's pocket and the NBA's pocket, then they're going to make damn sure to take some money out of your pocket. So I'm thinking it'll probably be somewhere 6 to 10 games. I think that's probably where it'll fall. But it'll be interesting to see if that young lady decides to try to get some money out of it, where it goes from there.
Yeah, I hope everything worked out for BB, man. And he kind of learned from this here, but you kind of just see, oh wow, what you see is what you get with look at our boy Gerard Toto. What's up, baby? he joined in with us, Ken, tonight.
Yeah, man. I had to hit him on the text, man. I was like, man, come on, man, get in on the show, bro. So go on, hit that subscribe button, JB. I appreciate you, bro. Stay locked in, man. We're finna get on these Texans in a minute, Warren Moon and all that. But that's coming up in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
All right. So next subject, NBA. You called it. Your boy Darvin Ham gets fired by the LA Lakers after only 2 seasons. So got him to the Western Conference Finals a year ago, lost to Denver. Had a pretty good season this year, ended up in the play-in, won the in-season tournament. I thought the in-season tournament was a big deal. They put up a damn banner in Staples Center or Crypto.com Arena or whatever it's called. They put a banner up. But then they fire him because, again, they lose to Denver because D'Angelo Russell can't guard Jamal Murray. And Anthony Davis, who's supposed to be the best player in the world, best defensive player in the world, can't guard Nikola Jokic. Nobody can guard Michael Porter. He's wide open for 3-point shots. I thought the firing, personally, was foul. So I'm going to put the entire LA Lakers organization.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger.
They're in the danger zone, man. Because where do you go now? Where do you go now if you're the Lakers? There's no Phil Jackson out there. There's no Pat Riley. There's no Eric Spoelstra. There's no Greg Popovich. Where are you going for a head coach?
And if those type of guys were available, it's not working in today. They're not being successful in today's NBA anyway. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I like a lot of stuff that LeBron does, man, particularly off the court. But this coach firing stuff after 2 years, bro. Frank Vogel, Mike Brown, Darvin Ham. I mean, it's just on and on and on. Every 2 years, bro, you cycling in coaches. Now my prediction, because you hear JJ Redick's name floating around. I mean, he's the golden boy of the NBA now. He took Mark Jackson's job on ESPN, and so now he's being floated around as the new head coach of the LA Lakers. It was odd to me during the season when they said LeBron James had a podcast. I'm like, why in the hell does LeBron James need a podcast? All the stuff he got going on, movies, this, that, and the third, He's got the shop on. I forget what streaming service is on now,
HBO.
but he's got. I didn't even know HBO was still a thing. Still on HBO. He's got all these different entities going on, and I'm like, why does he need a podcast? And why does he need a podcast with JJ Redick, who already had a really popular podcast? I think it was called Old Man and the Three, or Three and the Old Man, or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then now all of a sudden you hear JJ Redick's name floating around as the potential new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm like, wow. So if this really comes to fruition, bro, you'll know this was already in the works way before they lost this series to Denver.
Okay. You're up double digits. You're up double digits. Every game that you played against defending world champ, Denver Nuggets. And by the way, you gave the Minnesota Vikings the perfect antidote and how to beat the Denver Nuggets.
Timberwolves.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, T-Wolves showed you. The Lakers gave you the blueprint. Minnesota executed. And that's to get out early and fast on them. And don't let up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Lakers did in every game against the Denver Nuggets. They got out early, fast, and stepped on them. But got their foot off the gas. So Darvin Ham, I mean, I said he got to go. He's going to be the one to go. He's going to be the one to go. See, sometimes, Ken, success fools you. See, they made the trade last season, getting rid of Westbrook and getting those pieces together, and a little help from the basketball gods, and they made it to the Western Conference Finals. See, that's when I tell you success fools some people. They start drinking their own Kool-Aid. They start drinking their own Kool-Aid. So yes, Darvin Ham is going. I knew he was going to get fired because she ain't ready to let Rob Pelinka go. But right now, I want to put somebody in the danger zone right now, Ken. And his name is LeBron James.
You're in the danger zone.
LeBron James, for the most part, other than Miami, chooses the coaches that he wants. That's obvious and that's clear. He chooses the coaches that he wants. Frank Vogel was not the first, second, or third choice on the Lakers list when they hired him. The Lakers and LeBron James settled for Frank Vogel.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
He won a championship and he was quickly shown the door. Because it's not who LeBron James wants. This is all on LeBron James, if you just want to call a spade, because he signed off on the Russell Westbrook trade. He did. Signed off.
Him and Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis always been Robin. He ain't have a problem putting on a Robin costume. So this is not, I'm talking to the guy.
I got you.
Signed off on this Russell Westbrook trade that gave away your bench. And you never build it back up. This is on LeBron James. And he thought he had Kyrie. He thought he had Kyrie back in the saddle. He thought he had him back. And Kyrie said no. He signed with the Mavericks. This is all on LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Of course, he's not going to be the face of it that goes out and say things other than the guy that they had when they went to the finals that they got from overseas. What's his name?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Then they let him go and hire Tyronn Lue.
Yeah, now LeBron, he stepped to the front sight on that. He did. He stepped to the front side on that.
Yeah, David Black.
But
David Black.
It was David Black, and he wasn't so verbally. It was on national TV. LeBron fanning the man off, fanning off the plays, taking over the conversation in the huddle. LeBron James showed that on national TV. He done that. So this right, the LeBron James in the danger zone, for him not standing in front of that podium and answering the questions that he has created. You know, now you're going to play. I'm going to let you know if I'm going to play this year, or that remains to be seen, or I'm not going to answer that now. Stand in front of the podium like you do and serve. Give the reporters the answers, or at least attempt to answer the questions. You coming off as a sore loser to me as well. I did not like how he came out with the reporters at the press conference myself, Ken, like you didn't like with Pat Beverly. I didn't like how LeBron James, because he knew those questions was coming. He already knew that.
Oh, he already knew the answers.
Yes. Yeah, so it is his reason. And also, it has been spoken for years, and now it's even more so now, that players that maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago players were taking pay cuts and flopping to be on the team with LeBron James are not doing that now. Because he's difficult to work with because of his greatness. He's difficult to work with. The demand, the NBA, the players that's coming in cannot take another Kobe or MJ, how he rolled his teammates in the pressure that LeBron has lost that flair with the NBA. His last ditch right now hangs on the coattail of Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. If he can tag team with one of them out the door, he may have a shot at getting another one. But as we speak, LeBron James will not win another championship.
No, he won't. He won't.
And he has to take off. He has to stand in front of the camera and take some of this blame.
He got to take some of these bullets, bro.
He got to. He has to, man. He got to.
You got to take some of these bullets, bro, because, I mean, what more could Darvin Ham have done? People say, oh, he didn't call timeouts. You know, he didn't, use his timeouts effectively, or this, that, and the third. I'm like, man, look at here. At the end of the day, now, you should not have to be the best player on the team at 39 years old. That's your general manager's fault.
Yes.
That's your owner's fault.
Absolutely.
That's Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss and Kurt Rambis' wife. That's the head of the trio that's making all the decisions, along with probably Clutch Sports, with LeBron and Rich Paul. They're making the decisions on who to bring in and who not to bring in.
For the most part.
And like you say, players ain't going to just take a pay cut to go play in LA, because, hell, you're already taking a pay cut by going to California, because half your money going to taxes, about 60%. So you're already taking a pay cut just playing in California. So ain't nobody taking a pay cut. And I think that's why Kyrie didn't go. Kyrie wasn't taking no pay cut to go to the Lakers when he could get all that money from Mark Cuban. He would have been crazy to do that. And we know Kyrie loves his money. So Kyrie winning is secondary. It's about that bag. So But LeBron, bro, I mean, like I said, man, and I'm not a Laker fan, obviously, but you know, I like to see people treated fairly. Uh, you know, and Darvin Ham gets a raw deal. Hopefully, he gets another opportunity. Uh, you know, but yeah, it's dirty pool. It's dirty pool. But I really want to see who the next head coach is going to be. I can't wait to the JJ Redick press conference. I'm hoping it's JJ Redick.
You hit me with one. I mean, I seen it. I'm very much aware of the podcast that he and JJ Redick has, but it never crossed my mind. Then I just thought that he has interviewed for the Charlotte Hornets head coaching job. So it kind of had slipped my mind a little bit there again, because he has interviewed for the Charlotte Hornets head coaching job. JJ Redick was reported being interviewed. You know how LeBron is. If LeBron like you, then you're gonna be a part of whatever's going on with him. And I'm not mad at him because of that. But what I would definitely be upset about is the same thing that they were upset about with Steve Nash. You don't have no experience in coaching at all, and your first coaching job is that you are loaded with superstars. The table is set for you to succeed immediately. When other coaches are getting jobs on bad teams and hoping that they're able to turn a team around, and the chances of that is very likelihood, because it would then be the second or third coach that kind of get the success of the guy who started from the very beginning. Ask Mark Jackson about that. We can refer to Mark Jackson about that, to that matter there. So just the idea of JJ Redick being considered for a head coaching job is blasphemy on some of the guys that we've been waiting for a long time to get these opportunities. Sam Cassell is the first that comes to mind that has yet to be given an opportunity. But again, here come the Steve Nashes and the JJ Redicks and who knows who else coming after them. Right. So again, the hiring is always political and one-sided. But again, when you have these superstars that are endorsing these first-time head coaching jobs, it's ridiculous to me. Steve Nash is not in Brooklyn without Kyrie and KD signing off on that.
Well, eventually these owners will figure out that allowing your players to pick the coaches generally doesn't work out in your favor. Look at Denver. Mike Malone was there about 5 years before they actually started winning.
Yes.
Before they started winning playoff series. They stuck with him. You know, it's very rare that you can microwave a championship. Now, Toronto got lucky. They fired Dwayne Casey, who had won Coach of the Year. They promoted Nick Nurse. But guess what? Kawhi Leonard fell in their lap in the prime of his career. So, and I like Nick Nurse as a coach. I do like Nick Nurse as a coach.
I do too.
So I'm not throwing any shade at Nick Nurse.
He did a great job with the Sixers, man, with Joel Embiid being hurt for pretty much the half of the season, man. Shout out to him, man. They gave it all. Tobias Harris is the downfall there, but that we will get on to that later on in the show. But again, you know, it's just a new NBA, man. It's a new NBA, and these friends and likable guys now. It's not about what you know; it's about who you know right now, Ken.
Yeah. So no doubt,
that's what we're looking at the NBA right now, man.
No doubt. Well, we're gonna put a ball in the NBA. We were just talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, and A great series that was between the Knicks and the Sixers. Went 6 games. Josh Hart hit the big 3-point shot down the stretch, and Jalen Brunson just went berserk the last 4 games of that series. Of course, we talked about Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey had a big series. He was a little bit off in game 6, but for the most part, he played amazing. He looks like he's definitely going to be a co-star for Joel Embiid. Question now for Philadelphia. Obviously, thankfully for them, and every fan in Philadelphia is happy that Tobias Harris' contract has expired. That guy, man, I watched that game 6, man. I mean, we thought James Harden had some meltdowns here in Houston in some big games, and Tobias Harris, he didn't score more. I think he had one game. I think game 5, he scored like 17 or 18 points. That was the first time all year he had scored more than 10 points against the Knicks. And then, of course, he follows it up in game 6 with a 0. Only took 2 shots. Didn't make either one. I think he only had 3 rebounds in the ball game. I mean, just and I watched him specifically. I mean, it was like hot potato, bro. Every time he got the ball, there were several times he got the ball in the paint and he just passing it out to 3-point shooters. Didn't even look to shoot the basketball. I think the only 2 shots he took was at the end of the shot clock.
Yeah,
I mean, just a total, complete embarrassment, man.
2 shots.
If you got anything from this dude, anything, Philadelphia, I believe, beats New York, and they're moving on to the second round. Looked like Embiid was starting to kind of get into a rhythm, starting to get a little bit healthier as each game went on. But when you don't get anything from your third best player, I mean, you can't beat a team like the New York Knicks.
And even finally getting something out of Buddy Hield in game 5 and in game 6. We talked about him in our previous show about Buddy Hield not stepping up, coming over from the Pacers, being a shooter. That's what he was. That's what he was when he came into the league. I think coming out of Oklahoma State, he was a shooter. Was on the Sacramento Kings. He was a shooter. And I liked the pickup when the Sixers picked him up early in the year. And I said, this is it right here. That's what they need. There go the shooter right there. And it seemed like he never was able to just to fit in. Again, I have a whole different view of respect for Joel Embiid. Again, maybe they can put somebody alongside him this offseason and see where he goes. He can get healthy. Maybe Tyrese Maxey come back as a better player, shake some of them James Harden traits that he got that I see in him, and see which way the Sixers go. I think they got the right coach, and now it's all about, can you keep your superstar on the court? And that's what the Sixers go as is Joel Embiid. If Joel Embiid leaves, so does the Sixers.
Yeah, and we got it. You caught a glimpse in game 6 of what Buddy Hield could bring. I think he had like 17 points in the first half. I'm not sure how much he ended up with, but he really kept that team in the ball game when it looked like they were going to get blown out by the Knicks. So they have a lot of guys that are free agents. They're going to have a lot of cap space, as you mentioned. They're going to have their choice of who they want to bring in. We know Daryl Morey always likes to go big game hunting. So we'll see what he decides to do there with Philadelphia. So that'll put a bow on the NBA portion of the show tonight. Now, what most of you are tuned in to see and hear our opinion on is what Warren Moon had to say about, the fans in Houston, Texas, who are still whining and crying about, some love you blue jerseys. I don't know why they're still whining and crying about it, but they still are. So we're going to talk about that in 30 seconds. You guys are tuned in to the Danger Zone. Please subscribe. Please like. Please hop over to the YouTube channel. We definitely want to hear your comments on the next
Shout out. Don't miss this next segment, y'all. Please don't miss.
You're in the danger zone. 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 You're in the danger zone.
Punk, you're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
Welcome back to the Danger Zone. I'm your host, Ken Moore, joined by my boy, Floyd B. We want to invite you guys to subscribe to the show. We're not going to go Pat Bev and say you can't listen if you don't subscribe. You can still listen if you don't subscribe, but we would really like your subscription. We would really pray. We would really be thankful for you to subscribe to the show and like the show and share the show out. And we promise that we'll be respectful to everyone that participates in the show. All right. Now, with that disclaimer being said, let's talk some ball, Floyd B. Your boy Warren Moon went after y'all this week. He kind of did it in the typical Warren Moon way. He was a little shy. You're not really shy, but he kind of put that Warren Moon political spin on it. And Kay Adams, I think with NFL Network, she was asking him about, the Oilers and the Titans and the Texans and the whole love you blue thing. And Warren had some things to say. He was like, look, Houston, you can't have it both ways. When you got your team, you wanted to form your own identity. You wanted to disassociate yourself from the Houston Oilers. You wanted to form your own identity. But now that the uniforms have gotten popular again, you see the hat that my boy is wearing. Now that the logo and the love you blue colors and all of that are popular again, now you want to have the colors back. Now you want to put a little touch of love you blue in your new alternate helmets. You want to put that little dazzling little blue helmet up and all that little stuff. So, why can't y'all just let it go, man? You got the little blue H and all that good stuff. Just let it go, bro. It's not healthy. The ex-wife has moved on. She's moved on to another city with another husband and another family. You can't keep going back trying to get her back because you let her go. She wanted to stay and you kicked her out. You kicked her out the house. And now she's doing better. She moved from a Beamer to a Rolls Royce. She moved from, a studio downtown to a 4,000 square foot mansion in the hills of Nashville, Tennessee. You got to let it go, bro. You got to let it, bro. So, Texan fans, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but y'all are.
Punk, you're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
Are you done,
brother?
Are you done?
Are
you done? Are you done?
Stick a fork in me.
Shout out to all the Texan fans that are glued in right now for what I call a special segment of the Danger Zone. Courtesy of some of the great stations we have here, H-Town 610, one of my favorite sports stations. I watch to my boy Seth Payne now. I listen to him consistently. And I was listening at them when they played the interview by NFL Hall of Famer, former Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans, Minnesota Vikings, Kansas City Chiefs player, Warren Moon. Now, I was all right with a lot of things that Warren was saying in the beginning of the interview about maybe it's time, hey, you want to create your own identity, create your history. We understand some of the long time fans of former Houston Oilers players that's still around and that we are still very, very associated with. That whole spot dearly to our hearts. You know, the Ray Childress, you know, the Pastorinis and Kenny Burroughs and Billy White Shoe Johnson. See, you can move them all down to Tennessee or wherever you want to. They are Houstonians, Oilers. Houstonian Oilers, and they'll always be implanted in our heart because this is who we are. And I was okay with Moon until he said one thing that was a lie. And give me my flowers on this. Zoom in to me on this here again. Zoom in. Because this is the truth. Warren Moon, you're a liar. You said that we had access at keeping the name, the colors, and all the logos that goes with the Houston Oilers when that's a lie. Bud Adams never offered that, and neither was he ever going to leave that to us. It was his. He took it with him. Now, I understand that throughout, you know, that they're trying to keep that history because that's where it goes. It's with the Titans. Warren Moon never played a single game in Tennessee, in Nashville. Never. So we already know when he was on national TV or radio and had that platform with Bud Adams' daughter, which way he was going to rock. You traitor. You traitor. That's what you is, Warren Moon. You know, when Warren Moon was an Oiler here in Houston, I mean, I'm an Oiler fan. I was Oiler fan. But I could not wrap myself around Warren Moon for some reason. And one of those reasons was that he kind of came off that he had a little OJ in him to me. And one of the reasons why OJ wasn't very popular among some of the black activists in the 60s, like the Jim Browns, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the Muhammad Ali's, because OJ Simpson said that he wasn't black, people. He said he's OJ. So I know in so many ways, OJ decided he'd rather make money than to make it right for his people to be able to succeed and to be treated rightfully in a country that was never ours from the beginning with. Warren Moon with John McClain pushing for you, you traitor. You traitor, Warren Moon. John McClain is the reason you're in the Hall of Fame, Warren Moon. The city of Houston supported you to get you in the Hall of Fame, Warren Moon. Because they didn't want to count your Canadian stats, the CFFL, where you was a star, where you won 5 Grey Cups at. They did not want the NFL to acknowledge that. Because those numbers there, combined with your NFL numbers, sure ballot Hall of Famer. When you was going through your problems here in Houston, living in Sugar Land, with Juanita, with the domestic violence, who supported you, Warren Moon? The city of Houston. When you finally got divorced from Juanita for the same thing, domestic violence, Mr. Warren Moon, we are talking to you, Warren Moon. You sell out. That's what you is, Moon. You are a sellout. We supported you. And look what you do when you get the chance. You stab us in the back. You tell us to let go. You had an opportunity. Lies! 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 We never had an opportunity to keep those colors. Never had an opportunity. And you gonna do that to us? You gonna do that, Warren? You're going to turn your back on the city that made you? without the Houston Oilers reaching out and taking a chance on you, nobody else did. You had been there for 5 years. You won the Rose Bowl and didn't get drafted, Warren Moon. In the city of Houston. Open our arms to you. Come on, Warren. And you came. And you left. And now you have no empathy for us at all. You gonna get yours, Warren. You gonna get yours. You gonna get yours. Because you telling us that we had an opportunity to gain this and we didn't. Blasphemy. Shame on you, Warren. Shame on you.
Is you through or is you done?
I'm done. I want to see his name across there. Warren Moon has been inducted into the Danger Zone Hall of Fame.
Come on, man.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Boy, your feelings are hurt.
Yes.
I feel your pain, bro.
Yeah.
I know your feelings are hurt, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I got to push back on several things that you said that I think are inaccurate.
Okay.
They're not factually correct, as you said about Warren saying something that wasn't factually correct. No, Houston Texans were not offered to have the Oiler name. No, they were not. And they will never have the opportunity to have the Oiler name.
True.
But let's remember, when the Texans were born, there was a contest. There was a fan contest for the nickname of the team. And I remember one of the nicknames being the Rough Riders or the Roughnecks, Texans, and there were a couple other names.
Even Gamblers came up in it. Even the Gamblers name came up in it.
Yeah, but I think the Gamblers were still trademarked to the USFL, so I'm not sure they could have used that. But in any event, there was a contest for the name of what the name of the team would be. Now, I don't know how legitimate the vote tally was done to come up with the name Texans, because I specifically remember when they said the name was going to be the Houston Texans, most people in the city were not happy with that name. But the organization chose that name because they wanted to upstage the Dallas Cowboys. They wanted to be Texas team. And the only way that one of the few ways they thought that they could forge their identity was to use the name of the state in their name to hopefully get some fans to come over and not be Cowboy fans, but to be Texan fans. That's how the name Texans got attached to Houston. That's point number one. Point number two, the city of Houston, the entire city of Houston, was not welcoming of a black quarterback in 1984 when Bud Adams drafted Warren Moon. Now, the city, the fans, most were willing to accept it because the team had been so bad since the end of the Love You Blue era that they were okay to the idea. But it was Bud Adams.
Manners, the Ken Stabler, the Archie Manners, and all them that come. Yes, we suffered.
Right.
We suffered after Love You Blue a while.
Right. So it was Bud Adams who said, damn race, damn color, I'm going to give this young man an opportunity that none of the other 31 teams, or I guess at that time, 28 teams was willing to give him the opportunity. Well, I think Seattle and Tampa were in the league at that time. So 31, the other 31 teams.
Yeah, because Moon come out in 78.
Right. So I think it was 28 teams in the league at that time. But
Yeah,
whatever. Houston, Bud Adams was the only owner willing to give him that opportunity to play in the NFL as a quarterback. And Warren took that opportunity and ran with it. Now, I'm not going to get into, I'll leave that to you. I'm not going to get into his personal situation. I'm not going to touch that subject because personally, it's none of my business. So I'm going to leave that to you. But what I will say is that there was some backlash in the city due to another situation. Those that have been around the city during that time know what I'm talking about, that he received a lot of backlash for at that time. And I think his wife's name is Felicia, by the way, Felicia Moon.
That was one name.
But then,
Right.
Okay, I could be mistaken. I thought it was Felicia, but in any event.
Yeah.
In any event, so I believe it was 1990, if I'm not mistaken, when I think he got hurt and Cody Carlson, or the team started off poorly. I forget exactly what the situation was.
That was 92 season.
Cody Carlson came in, Commander Cody from Baylor, obviously. A lot of Baylor Bear alumni here in the city. Go ahead.
Won one game. The Texans was the Houston Oilers was 1-3 under Cody Carlson, and he got hurt against the New England Patriots. And Moon came back in and got his starting job back.
Okay. So in any event, there was this swell of support. Oh, maybe we need to trade Warren Moon. Maybe he's washed up. Maybe he's done. Maybe he's this. Maybe he's that. And I believe they end up trading him to Minnesota.
Yeah, when they traded Warren, to Minnesota that year, they lost a lot of players that year. Al Smith, Ray Childress, a lot of players. That was their last run because they lost to Kansas City in the Dome. That's when they lost to Kansas City in the Dome. And they the following offseason, they broke the team up. Warren went to Minnesota, and everything else is history. We had our run with Bucket Richardson here as quarterback and all that. We went through a lot of that there. It still does not negate the fact that the city of Houston, the good, the bad, and the ugly, open their arms for him.
That's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
And for him to tell us as fans to grow up, accept it, move on.
I didn't hear him say grow up.
Grow up.
I didn't hear him say grow up.
Move on. That's what he was saying, parallel.
No.
He was paraphrasing it. That's what he was doing. He was paraphrasing. Come on now. I think it's ridiculous. Come on.
He said, get over it. You can't have it both ways.
Come on. And it's not going to change how I feel. You downplayed that, Warren. If you didn't want anything to say, you just say neutral in it. You pay what you get paid to say and move on. But he sit there and he marinate in it, and he topped it off by saying we had an opportunity to keep the legacy, and it was a lie. That was a bald-faced lie. So right now, everything Warren Moon says, he has no credibility with me when it comes to the city of Houston right now. Warren,
that's because you're in your feelings, bro. You're in your feelings right now.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to bad mouth the fan base.
He did not bad mouth the fan base.
To stay.
You're spewing.
to stay in good with Miss Adams?
I'm not gonna allow you to lie to the YouTube community by saying things that he did not say.
Come on, man. He paraphrased it, man. You know what that man was saying, man. You know he got FDA rules and all that old stuff. Just like you got there's certain things you're not gonna say. You're not gonna shoot straight to the hip. That's what I'm paraphrasing what he was saying. He was telling us to move on, quit crying. We had a chance to keep him, and we didn't. That's what he said. And he had no remorse or no empathy about it.
I want to answer Jared's question. JB, Nashville is building their own stadium. I think it'll be done in 2026 or 2027. So they're building their own stadium. They don't need the Astrodome, bro. It's all good. Chill out. Relax. All right. So, look, y'all got what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted your H-Town blue. You got... Amy Adams said, you know what? We'll let them use the blue as an accent. Y'all had to get permission. You had to get permission just to use the color. So she finally said, she threw y'all a bone. She said, look, man, I'm tired of fighting with Houston. Houston did a lot for my family, the Adams family, integral part of their success as a family, their wealth. So she said, yes, you can use it as an accent color. You know how you put a little rug down in your room, in your living room, your game room to kind of accent, the rest of the house. So you have your accent color, right? So you should be happy. What more do you guys want? Like, I'm not understanding. Like, you didn't want the colors. You didn't want the history when the Oilers left. You didn't even want the damn team when they left. Me and you was here. We lived through it. We know what happened. We know the Oilers wanted a new stadium. Bud Adams wanted a new stadium. Me and you still paying taxes on the damn thing because it costs so much money, and they don't even open the damn roof on sunny days when it's 65 degrees outside. Now you got J.J. Watt parading around town. He had his little softball tournament, charity softball. Shout out to J.J. Anything for charity, I'm all for it. But then he throws a little slug out to the media. Oh, well, if the Texans need me back, they can call me if they really, really need me. Oh, now the Texans good. You want to come back? You didn't ask to come back last year. Why you didn't ask to come back last year, JJ? You didn't ask to come back last year when they were supposed to be a bad team, but now that they're supposed to be a good team. Oh, well, I'll come back if they need me.
Fam,
come on, bro.
You ain't got to do JJ like that, man.
Come on, man.
JJ like that, man.
No, come on, man.
Fam, you ain't got to do JJ like that, man.
I'm still looking for my Hurricane Harvey, man.
JJ trying to win, man.
I'm still looking for my Hurricane Harvey money, bro. I still ain't got my Hurricane Harvey money. Come on, man.
Man. Now you blaming JJ for that, man.
Man, I ain't got my Hurricane. I ain't got my Hurricane money, man.
Man, and you blaming JJ for that.
Yeah. Floyd on you. I mean, JB on your side. You know what I'm saying? But look here, man.
Say Jared, JB Shao. I've been dealing with this guy here for a while now. And I got to admit, see, I can understand when you just don't like a team or something, But this guy, the host of this show, The Danger Zone, Ken Moore, he has so much malice in his heart for the Houston Texans. He makes Pharaoh seem like a saint. That malice. See, I didn't like the Dallas Cowboys with a passion for many, many years. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Oilers just wasn't winning a lot of my youthful years. The Astrodome wasn't selling out. So we saw the Cowboys every week for 14 weeks. In the 70s, when I first started watching football, we saw them for 12 weeks. We saw the Oilers when they was on the road. Unless it was one of them seasons when they was winning. They didn't start winning until we had Love You Blue. Let's be absolutely honest. But I would say right here on this national platform, there's no other team that I despise more than the Dallas Cowboys right now as we speak. It's the Tennessee Titans. And it's all your fault, Ken. You made me this way, man. You made me this way, man. And I've tried therapy and everything, y'all. But because again, Mo, I can't stand nothing about the Tennessee Titans. And I hope they go 1-18 this year.
Come on. That's a team, bro. That's a team. I can't. It won't come through the screen. I wish I could hand it to you, bro. I wish I could hand it to you, man. I wish I could hand you some of this tissue, bro.
So I know we get close to shows and show out, y'all. But I want y'all to know right now the same thing that make you cry. I want you to know it should make me laugh too. Because the danger zone will not be the same after this upcoming season. When the Tennessee Titans will probably have the first pick of the 2025 NFL draft.
My boy Jake in the house. What's up, Jake? Boy, you missed a good one. I don't know if you just got in or not, bro, but if you just got in, you're going to have to go back and rewind this one, bro. JB, still don't like the Cowboys. That was the only team I hated until Ken started hating on my team. Man, I just tell the truth, bro.
You did that to us, man. You did that. We didn't have that, man. We rooted for the Titans for a long time. We did.
When?
We felt that. We felt that. When they left us, we felt that we even went to Tennessee with them. Hey, man, I wanted the Titans to beat Baltimore more than anybody. I didn't want Ray Lewis running up on Eddie Jordan like that, man. I wanted Steve McNair. I felt joy when the Titans went to the Super Bowl. I felt like that was us. But you and Vince Young, over the years, it just made me just not like the Titans.
Boy, you sound like Coach Mo right now. I hate you. Boy, R.I.P. Coach Mo.
R.I.P. man. Coach Mo, man, that was our freshman basketball coach, sophomore basketball coach. Coach Mo was.
No doubt,
So,
no doubt.
That's my viewpoint, fellas. You know, Warren Moon again. And if I touch some personal bases with you on a personal level, I meant that. I meant every word I said, and we live with that. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I will not acknowledge Warren Moon anymore in the near future on anything.
That's a cold piece, bro. That's a cold piece. Well, on that one, we're finna get ready to close the show, guys. We've been going for about an hour and a half. We appreciate everybody chiming in to the show. If you got in late, we definitely urge you to subscribe, like. It's Danger-Zone Podcast. Danger-Zone Podcast. You got to put that hyphen in there or to take you to a different show that you don't want to be a part of. But we definitely appreciate everybody chiming in. My boy JB, Jake24. I know you got in a little late, but we definitely encourage you guys to go subscribe, like the show, share it out. Floyd, I need you to share this out in your Houston Texan groups. You know what I mean? So you can get some of them people up in here so that they can cry with you.
Matter of fact, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. We'll reach out. Yeah. I'm in a bunch of them groups too.
Yeah, do that. So we'll see what happens. Next Sunday we'll be back around 9:15 Central Time here on the Danger Zone. We'll be, of course, looking at the NBA playoffs. Maybe the Texans will sign J.J. Watt. We'll see what happens. Is J.J. gonna come back? Shaft, he said he gonna be back. Bring some friends with you, Shaft.
Appreciate you, JP.
Hit that subscribe button for me, bro.
City Gas for life. City Gas for life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate everybody being in. We're going to get out of here. You guys have a safe, prosperous, and blessed week. And we'll see you next week.
And one last thought.
Yes, sir.
All non-believers and non-Texan fans, you can always come back home. See you next week on Danger Zone. See you when I see you.